I've been doing it 24 years, but was quite young when I started. I had no clue, really, the difference, honestly, between Chicago, Milwaukee, any of the Midwest. I think we're all very, very together, at least the way in which I see it in the art world. Collectors is a whole other story. There's a big dialogue right now a huge dialogue right now among dealers as to the lack of support by, let's say, local collectors where they feel like going to New York to buy the same artist they can get in Chicago. You know, like instead of buying local, they go and they can say, "Ooh, I got it in Paris," and you're like, "Well, where's the photographer from?" Milwaukee. So there's a bit of that going on right now, and that's the cachet in the art world that, for whether we like it or not, comes with the territory of money. I've been battling that a little bit. I've been battling that since I opened, but I think artists, I don't really see a school of photography coming out of Milwaukee, and I don't see it coming out of Chicago right now either. So I think, you know, I don't know. I think we all get along pretty well. I have this Chicago project, which is a side, like this online gallery, part to my gallery, that I said was local. And then one of my assistants said, "Well, what's local?" And I was like, "The Midwest." You know, I mean, what do you mean what's local? I just thought that was obvious. And they're like, "Well, local means Chicago." I'm like, "Well, I'm sorry, it's too small. To me, it's everything. So it's Ohio, Indiana, you know, Wisconsin, the whole kit and caboodle." And so that's my version of local, which might not be somebody else's. But, you know, and we're only, I mean, it only took me an hour and 25 minutes to get here. So we're all pretty much in the same position. Yeah, I mean, we might have more art schools in Chicago than you all have here. And we might be a bit bigger, you know, we are a bigger city, but, you know, we come up here.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. We're going to the museum tomorrow. It's a good show here, so it's good stuff happening.
About how many requests do you get a year from photographers saying, "Hey, will you look at my work? What would it take to be part of the gallery?"
Well, so many that we stopped looking. I actually thought I would never not look at work, but I have to say that it is not the way that I have actually found photographers is by blind submissions. It's usually things like this, magazines, small shows and not-for-profits, colleagues, running all over the country. But I think we stopped looking at art about, I don't know, a year ago. I finally passed it off about 5 years ago to my assistants because, you know, I was tired of getting photos in Walgreens packages and, you know, you name it, I've seen it. And so the level of quality was not what I had hoped my gallery would elicit, which isn't to say we didn't get some great submissions, but the reality is that it's a lot of money you guys are spending, and I just know that's not how I was successfully finding people, so we decided to stop. Yeah, I look a lot. Well, I don't. My assistants look a lot. They spend hours and hours every day, literally looking at blogs and websites, and that is the way we're finding people. And we have multiple projects that happen at the gallery, which I won't go into. They're all on our website, and that is how we find things, not necessarily for the gallery, but for these other projects. And sometimes they come into the gallery as well. These blind submissions have been not fruitful. And I think it's, yeah, I was a photographer, so I know it's who you know, it's meeting the people, it's shaking hands, it's getting your face in front of us, it's a really good red bottle of wine sent in the mail. You know, bribery goes a long way in our business. It's really difficult, and all I can say, and I know it's really, really discouraging, is that it's unfortunately a lot of it is just hanging about and paying attention and not assuming you're the best person I've ever seen and being gracious and visiting the gallery. You know, like, why would you want your work in some gallery in Chicago simply because they have a website. If you've never seen it, I could be a hole in the wall. Well, I am in a basement, but we call it the lower level. My landlord does that because there's an extra zero on our lease, at the end of the year. But, you got to really, respect what you're doing and think about if you were in my position with hundreds and however many people are bombarding you with stuff, what makes you stand out? And it's certainly being gracious, I can say that. It's kind of surprising, people are always taken aback when I say how rude some artists can be, but it really is somewhat true that, we've been yelled at, it doesn't go very far. We remember your names. I did start a list a while ago, but I don't, getting older, so I can't remember where I put it. So, I did start saving really nasty notes I got, and a friend of mine down in Miami recently, she was sharing with me some of the notes she'd gotten. So you never know. Don't send notes. Don't put things in writing. You never know when it's going to come back to haunt you. But it's a good question, and unfortunately, I have to say most galleries have stopped looking at work. If you get on their websites, they're all going to say we're no longer looking at work. I mean, the real reality is we're always not looking, right? Otherwise, how do we stay up with what you guys are doing? But we just don't want to be bombarded anymore. We just don't. So websites. Everybody's got to have a website. I mean, I was told I was being lazy because I wasn't digging deep into websites, but people like me, we don't have time to dig in deep. If we're looking for something, we want to see it. So title everything, date everything, give us all the information. Give us a bio. Let me know where you are. I need an email. Yeah, a phone number's great, but we're going to usually email you. Be as transparent as possible. Who, what, where, why, when is what we always say, for everything. Don't put music on it. I can tell you the don'ts more than the do's. Don't put music on it. I couldn't get rid of somebody's music for hours. My assistants were like, what website did you hit? And I'm like, I don't know. Then we figured out whose it was. I actually bought some pieces from him, but I told him, get rid of the damn music. Try to focus on your art. I mean, the website should be about your art. It's not about you. It's not about your mother. It's not about your pets. Unless it is. Right? Make it about your work. Make it serious. If you want us to take it seriously, make it serious. Even if your work is about things that you find more childlike, don't make it childlike. I mean, you're trying to grab our attention, but we also need to get through it fast. So I'd say simple is better, and then you could add to it.